Hello Kindred Longevity Lifestyle Designers, this is Gavin, your secretsoflongevity.com. We're going to make a very simple recipe today, one that I've sort of done a version of in the past. This one's going to be different in that we're going to start with a tea base. I've just used a 3 peppermint or a 3 mint herbal tea just from a box. Could use fresh mint if you had it at your disposal. And this one is simply peppermint, spearmint, and wild mint. So it's an organic peppermint blend. Don't have to get too fussy with it. This recipe will go great with any kind of light green leafy tea, so whether it's specifically green tea or nettle leaf tea. If you don't mind the bitterness, you can even do a light infusion of gynostemma tea. And so that was about 2 1/4 cups. The exact amount isn't that specific, depending on how many people you're making for. You can adjust accordingly. We're going to use a whole lemon, so 1 lemon gives you about 1 ounce of lemon juice. Simply cut that in half. And I don't have a lemon squeezer, but I just squeeze it over a sieve to catch any seeds and the pulp. And mint and lemon, although it might sound strange, is a very good combination. There's a lot of drinks, whether they're like professional bar drinks or just drinks you find in restaurants that are that combination. You often see that obviously in sort of cocktail things where they're combining the citrus with the mint, like in a mojito. And the other important thing is also you want to have the tea cool. So you could always add ice to this as well. Either blend the ice into it or add the ice afterwards to cool the whole thing down. So I'm just going to squeeze both these in here and we'll be back to add the other ingredients. So that's the lemon juice all added in there. I had a little taste of it. It tastes great. I like that combination. And I didn't really explain the theme of this drink, but we're going for a whole body tonic, but also more of a liver cleansing type of tonic drink. And one of the big things with lemon juice, if you get in a regular amount of lemon juice, fresh lemon juice is ideal, of course. So, you know, in the realm of 1 lemon a day, obviously you don't have to be doing that year round, but if you're going through a period of liver cleansing, the lemon is great because it really pulls and helps the body process bilirubin. So a sluggish liver, lemon is one of the top foods you can take and consume regularly to help with liver health. There's a lot of minerals in there. So the very next thing we're going to add, which is the premier herb for liver health, and you've heard me talk about it in many videos, even some more recently, and I found it an excellent combination with both lemon as well as some of the other things we're going to be adding in here is organic Schisandra extract, and it's produced and distributed by Lucidera. However, it's also just recently begun to be sold on Sir Thrival's site. So we're adding a generous, that's a half teaspoon, I'm going to go for about 3/4 of a teaspoon. Now this is a 6-to-1 extract, meaning it's about 6 times more concentrated than the whole berries themselves, which are very strong anyway, so that might be a little on the high side in terms of a dosage, but I want this to be a very strong drink because I'm not going to be consuming it in a great quantity all at once. And I think it's great that Sir Thrival's carrying it. It's definitely in line with all their wonderful products. It's very easy to purchase other products from Sir Thrival at the same time. So if you're a connoisseur of Sir Thrival's products, definitely check it out from them. Or if you just want to get out some, you can get from either company. They're both practically the exact same price. It's like a few pennies difference. Definitely one of the best products out there right now. For liver health, it's a stage 1 and stage 2 liver detoxifier, meaning it helps bind to and remove toxins from the liver. Then it also helps in the stage 2 process, which is getting those toxins out of the body through different excretory means. And this is good because if you have only one or the other, you can be missing out, especially if you're missing out on stage 2 of getting rid of the toxins from your body. Your body might just reabsorb them. Now something that's always a great combination with Schisandra to help both offset the very sour quality of it because it's a little sweeter, but also for its just general liver health properties and being more of a methylator, which is another type of liver detoxification and is actually involved in whole body rejuvenation. The goji berry, it's very potent for this reason. We're going to add a full teaspoon of this extract, and this is a 12-to-1 extract available from Longevity Power. So we're getting all those reds and oranges and yellows in there in this drink, which is a strong indicator of the effect of the drink on an energetic level if you're familiar with colors and their corresponding organ systems and ways they work with the body. So another great thing about the goji berry is one of the top longevity herbs in the world, along with Schisandra berry. It's very boosting to human growth hormone, the body's own production to it. It's extremely mineral dense, it's extremely antioxidant rich. Those antioxidants again are good for the whole body. Next we're just going to add a bit of sea salt. This is just Mediterranean sea salt. has a grinder because it's in big chunks. Unlike pepper, sea salt doesn't need to be freshly ground. You probably know that. It's just a sort of a nice little thing to do, I guess, when you're adding it. It makes it very easy adding a small amount without overdoing it, and I like the fine texture after it's been ground like that. And of course the salt is going to help bring out the sweetness once we've added some sweetness to this. We're going to add maple syrup. Add any kind of sweetener that works for you, as long as it's a healthy one. You know, honey, raw honey, stevia, xylitol. This is just going to be pure maple syrup because it's a wild sugar. I love it. Lots of minerals. Adding about 2 tablespoons there. I'll taste test it and add more accordingly. That's always the rule. I generally don't go by strict measurements, just because everyone has their own preference on flavor. Now, this combination of flavors I've been doing a lot through the summer, not necessarily in this form, but balancing the sweet with the sour. I've been doing a lot of cocktails, so things like Boston sours or whiskey sours or pisco sours, or even the Southside cocktail, which is one with gin, is balancing that lemon juice or lime juice with the traditional recipes say simple syrup, which is just sugar and water, but I've been doing it with maple syrup because it's a healthier sugar, flat out. Anyone can understand that. Now, what a lot of these recipes have is an egg white added to them because it froths the drink up when it's been shaken. In this case, it's going to be blended, and it gives a nice little head to the drink, and I think that's going to be appropriate for this here. Plus, it adds a little bit of protein, makes it kind of like a meal. Now, I love egg white yolks, so I'm obviously going to use that, but to separate the egg yolk, simply scoop it out of its whole encasement here. This is a very interesting egg white. It's very thick seeming. It's very simple. Everyone has these elaborate ways of getting egg yolks away from the whites, but you know, it's really easy. If you can't do that, you can look up some videos on how to do that. I'll save that for making a dressing or mayonnaise or something at a later time. So there you have it. We're going to whip this up in the blender and see what kind of consistency and flavor we end up with. So that's extremely frothy from that egg white. We're going to let it sort of settle out there. I'm going to sample the flavor of it. That's a really nice balance. I don't need to add any more sugar, or in this case maple syrup. And yeah, there's a creaminess there. That would most likely be from the goji berry powder, because that has a very diffuse and very fine extraction, and I'm sure it'll actually get darker once the froth kind of settles out there. But the mint is interesting. It really changes the flavor of the sour. It almost makes the whole thing taste peachy, which was unexpected. I quite like it. And right here I've got a chilled glass with some ice in it. We're going to add this drink or tea elixir extraction to it in a moment. First we're going to add an ounce of gin. Now this isn't your ordinary Bombay Sapphire gin. This actually is a tincture I made last summer, right around this time of year. And while it's not specific for the liver, it does have some beneficial liver properties. It's actually an extraction of wild blueberries from my cottage, the island up there. Wild blueberry roots and wild blueberry leaves. So that is very specific for kidneys, for breaking up and diffusing kidney stones. It's not an issue I have. However, it's something I just made just for the fact that I had all those herbs right there in that moment. And it is a very interesting combination in that it has a very red, rich color, which I think will go very well with this. It looks just dark brown almost here, but you'll see once it mixes that up that it creates that sort of color over it. That's approximately maybe a little bit more for an ounce. Now you can see it's starting to separate there. There's still a ton of a head from one egg yolk. It's just frothed right up. I think we're going to use this to keep some of that foam back. So that's longevity mixology 101. We're going to give this a shake just to get that ice all mixed in there, get the whole thing cool right down. And look at that color. Very peachy looking. That is exquisite. Very unique. You won't get this at your local watering hole. You can taste every subtle flavor. There's enough sweetness there that the sour isn't too overwhelming. You get the mintiness, and there's also the flavor of the blueberries from the gin mixture. Now, gin is an interesting spirit in and of itself, as it was created originally to be consumed by the British in India. There's a ton of herbs in it, including juniper and a variety of other herbs from around the world, and it was to help offset the symptoms of malaria, if not even prevent it, as it had some antibacterial type effects. So when done properly, it can be a perfectly healthy alcohol when consumed in minimal quantities, of course. Yeah, I think this is definitely one of the best drinks I've ever made on this channel. I cannot describe the well-rounded combination of flavors here. Sometimes it's hit or miss, and this was definitely a hit. At least with my palate, of course. So check out those herbs. The Schisandra just released on Survival. I've got links below this video if you want to check them out. They're affiliates of mine. Any purchases through those links helps me continue putting out such great content. And I much appreciate you guys watching and supporting me in any way that you do. And I hope you're having an awesome summer. This is a great summer drink. Check it out, and I'll talk to you next time. Take care and embrace life without limits.